Bertram rode easily, letting the wind stream his cloak to one side, but he studied the forested country ahead with a wariness he barely attempted to conceal. Of his 4 countrymen at his back, only Dorison was truly skilled in the game of houses. That fool Terran dog, Weramon, was blind, of course. Bertram glared at the puffed-up buffoon's back. Weramon rode well ahead of the rest in deep conversation with Gedwin, and if Bertram needed any further proof that the Terran would smile at what gagged the goat, it was how he tolerated that hot-eyed young monster. He noticed Kirill glancing sideways at him, and reined his gaze farther from the towering man. He had no particular enmity toward the Ilianer, but he did hate people looming over him. He could not wait to return to Kerheim, where he did not have to be surrounded by ungainly giants. Kirill Dripneos was not blind, though, however over tall. He had sent a dozen scouts forward, too. Weramon had sent one. Dorison, Bertram said softly, then a little louder. Dorison! You lump! The bony man gave a start in his saddle. Like Bertram, like the other 3. He had shaved and powdered the front of his head. The style of marking yourself like a soldier had become quite fashionable. Dorison should have called him a toad in return, the way they had since boyhood, but instead he heeled his gelding up beside Bertram's and leaned close. He was worried, and letting it show. His forehead furrowed deeply. You realize the Lord Dragon means us to die? He whispered, glancing at the column trailing behind them. Blood and fire. I only listened to Colivert, but I have known I was a dead man since he killed her. For a moment, Bertram eyed the column of armsmen, snaking back through the rolling hills. The trees were more scattered here than ahead, but still enough to shield an attack until it was right on top of him. The last olive grove lay nearly a mile behind. Weramon's men rode at the fore, of course, in those ridiculous coats with their fat white striped sleeves, and then Kirill's Ilianers in enough green and red to shame tinkers. His own people, decently clad in dark blue beneath their breastplates, were still beyond his sight, with Dorison's and the others, ahead only of the company of legion men. Weramon had seemed surprised that the foot kept up, though he had hardly set a difficult pace. It was not really the armsmen Bertram glanced at, though. 7 men rode before even Weramon's. 7 men with hard faces and death-cold eyes in black coats. One wore a pin in the shape of a silver sword on his tall collar. An elaborate way to go about it, he told Dorison dryly, and I doubt Althor would have sent those fellows with us if we were just being fed into a sausage grinder.
My dream
Forehead still creased. Dorison opened his mouth again, but Bertram said, I need to talk to the Terran. He disliked seeing his childhood friend this way, Althor. He had unhinged him. Absorbed in one another, Weramon and Gedwin did not hear him riding up on them. Gedwin was idly playing with his reins, his features cold with contempt. The Terran was red-faced. I don't care who you are, he was saying to the black-coated man in a low, hard voice. Spittle flying. I won't take more risk without a command direct from the lips of. Abruptly, the pair became aware of Bertram, and Weramon's mouth snapped shut. He glared as if he wanted to kill Bertram. The Ashman's ever-present smile melted away. The wind gusted, cold and sharp as clouds, drifted across the sun, but no colder than Gedwin's sudden stare. With a small shock, Bertram realized the man also wanted to strike him dead on the spot.
We will cover races that influenced humanity since Lemuria and Atlantis, and the great war that took place in our galaxy. I will share with you how to open your heart portal so that you can help others. And last but not least, I will share how our world exists and why I was able to remember it.
Hey, are you awake? I know how hard it can be. Sometimes just getting out of bed is a hassle. You feel tired, fatigued, a little lethargic. You don't really feel like getting up. Maybe you hit the snooze alarm a few times. I have some answers. Let's go. Come on, get up. As we age, we start to lose that sparkle. We're walking down the street, people aren't making eye contact. We're wondering what happened to the vibrant energy that we once had. What has made us invisible? Worst part, we just chalk it up to getting older. The good news is there's still a way to get that young, youthful, energizing, electric energy that you once had. And no, it's not and I'll tell you what it is. Listen, coffee definitely won't help you with that presentation at work. It's not going to help you plan that dinner, and it definitely won't help you pick your kids up after work. Eventually, you're just going to crash and burn. Now, what if there was a delicious, organic way for Mother Nature herself that not only boosted our energy up sky high, but also had zero crash and increased our mood? Well, I've got news for you. Mother Nature did create several of these amazing superfoods for us to boost our energy, confidence, and smiles without any of the jitters or the crash. Let me introduce you to some of my favorite superfoods so you can break through that 2 o'clock crash and have consistent energy all day long. Let's go to the kitchen.
The first one is this funny looking thing right here. This is the cordyceps. And I love cordyceps. It's an adaptogen that helps the body fight stress and toxins in daily life while simultaneously stopping fatigue in its tracks. Next up, we have Siberian ginseng. Now this baby is used by Olympic athletes to manage stress, sometimes overtraining. So we need things like Siberian ginseng to actually help us manage the stress of everyday life. Another one, Jorai or Rhodiola, was used by ancient Greeks to maintain high energy levels throughout the day, and it can be used to have that newfound, eye-opening, vivid visual motivation that you've been looking for, my friends, without the crash as well. The next one is reishi mushroom. Been scientifically proven to regenerate the liver cells, which is that giant organ shaped like a little football right here that detoxifies your whole entire body is responsible for, you guys. And if you want to feel more energized from it, reishi really helps with that. More reishi, more healthy liver cells, more energy, and a better, happier you. And we put them all in one delicious drink called Organifi Red Juice right here. All you need to do is take 1 scoop out of this. I like it in about 10 to 12 ounces of cold water. I put it in just like so. I take my spoon and I mix it up, and in less than 10 seconds, I have an amazing glass of Organifi Red Juice. Just mix it up and drink it. 2 p.m. is usually when I have it, and I avoid the crash. It's so good. You're absolutely going to love it, my friend. We added our favorite antioxidants, so many more ingredients in here, including delicious blueberry, strawberries, cranberries, raspberry extracts, plus only 2 grams or less of this natural, totally natural sugar. So it's low carb and totally keeps